Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into how Immortal Realm is taking your classic MMO grind and completely transforming it into a rich, story-driven archaeological dig. Now, if you've ever spent countless hours running treasure maps or hauling up those message-in-a-bottle chests from the deep, you already know the drill. It's the classic loop we all grew up playing. But we're looking at a system called Lost Recoveries today, and it fundamentally changes why you're out there digging in the first place. So let's just jump right into this. What if treasure hunting produced stories and not just gold? Because let's be honest, standard treasure hunting usually just acts as a repetitive gold and item mill. Think about it for a second. How many thousands of identical, magically locked digital chests have you cracked open over the years? You get a nap, you dig up a chest, grab the loot, and move on. Wash, rinse, repeat, right? Well, the design behind the Lost Recovery system was built specifically to fix that exact feeling of burnout. They asked a genuinely profound question. What if that treasure was actually a piece of a forgotten story you're recovering, rather than just another pile of generic coins? And this is where things get really interesting. Because we're looking at a huge shift here, moving away from just pure looter behavior and stepping right into the boots of a historian uncovering curated narratives. With the traditional treasure map model, you get your standard payout. It's reliable, sure, but it's pretty predictable. Immortal Realm, on the other hand, adds some serious narrative weight. Every single catalog entry has a name, a context, and a specific historical set it belongs to. The gold is absolutely still there, don't worry. But now, the history is the real prize.
Section 1. Building your archive. Let's get into the mechanics and see exactly how this builds up when you start cataloging all this history.
Okay, so there are exactly 64 core entries in the catalog, split really nicely between treasure chests, sea salvage from SOS bottles, plus some super rare and secret finds. To break that down a bit for you, you're looking at 30 base entries found on land, 20 pulled from the treacherous sea, and then 10 rares, plus 4 absolute secrets layered on top for the really hardcore hunters out there. And honestly, the best part? These aren't just random item drops. They are specific named recoveries. You might brush the dirt off a meticulously charted item, uncover a delicate historical relic, or even find an ancient waterlogged cargo manifest. It's like putting together a giant puzzle. Now, the absolutely crucial point here is that this system acts as a layer entirely on top of standard treasure hunting. You are not sacrificing your normal loot whatsoever. There's no exclusive Lost Recoveries map you have to go track down. Instead, the system just quietly, elegantly reads your ongoing treasure activity right in the background. Whenever you want to check your progress and see what you found, you literally just type the in-game command, --recoveries, and your personal, per-character archive pops right up on your screen. It creates what we call an opportunistic loop. That means you don't have to stressfully fish for specific items. You just run content at your current skill level, naturally recover themed entries, and earn archive marks. If you're a mid-skill cartographer, you'll naturally surface mid-tier entries. It perfectly scales to where you are. But if you've invested the massive amount of time required to become a Grandmaster cartographer running level 7 maps, that skill investment truly pays off with high-tier catalog entries. The moment you recover an entry from a qualifying source, boom, it automatically logs in your archive and pays you an archive mark. Section 2, the power of sets. This introduces themed rewards, which is without a doubt the true payoff moment of the entire system. So instead of mechanically identical grouped items, entries are grouped into these themed sets that share a rich backstory, bringing real meaning to the artifacts you find. You know how a lot of MMOs just lazily group random items under a single label? Yeah, not here. You might be painstakingly piecing together the lost galleon's cargo or the buried lord's cache, or maybe a sunken merchant's ledger. The individual artifacts you dig up actually fit together logically to complete a highly cohesive historical picture. And when you finally complete a full set, the value just becomes exponential. It rewards you with unique decorations or wearables tied to that specific theme that you simply cannot get anywhere else. While individual entries definitely give you a nice sense of steady progress, closing a set is the system's grand finale. It is a moment worth celebrating. The bonus marks you get for finishing a set often completely outweigh what the individual items paid out on their own, which makes it a highly lucrative pursuit for any dedicated treasure hunter. Section 3, the Curator's currencies. To process all these historical finds, we really need to understand the payment system managed by archivist Thalen. While early players are going to spend standard archive marks, serious collectors will accumulate legendary fragments and commendations to open up the system's absolute deepest layers. Think of it like a ladder of prestige. Down at the bottom, archive marks are your bread and butter, earned right out of the gate with every single discovery. But as you dig deeper into more dangerous territory, you're going to start seeing legendary fragments. And here's a really fantastic mechanical detail. Exactly 3 of these fragments can be redeemed for a legendary chart. Then, stepping up to the very top, commendations act as formal, high-tier acknowledgments from the Curator himself, unlocking true prestige items reserved only for the elite. As your personal archive grows, Archivist Thalen genuinely recognizes your dedication, seamlessly scaling his vendor inventory from basic goods all the way up to top Curator prestige tiers based on exact entry thresholds. You start at just 5 entries to open his base shop, pretty modest beginning, right? But as you prove your worth and hit 15, his advanced inventory suddenly opens up to you. Push that dedication to 30 entries for the maritime tier, and if you can somehow catalog an impressive 50 entries, you reach the absolute pinnacle, the Curator prestige tier. It's just a fantastic, rewarding way to represent your entire journey from a muddy amateur digger to a master archaeologist. Section 4. Starting your excavation. Let's talk about how to actually engage with this journey, which can take anywhere from passive progress to 80 solid hours of dedicated treasure work. What you should really take away from all this is how refreshingly simple it is to begin. First, find the natural questline entry points to locate Archivist Thalen. Then, just keep doing the maps you already love doing. Remember, this is meant to be incredibly fun, not another chore. You don't need to alter your treasure hunting routine at all. Just let the system reward you naturally as you play. Then, as you start learning the different sets and actually reading the lore, you can start planning your future map runs around closing a partial set, which is for sure the most efficient path to those massive payouts. So, the next time you're about to dig up a chest just for a quick gold grab, ask yourself, what piece of forgotten history might I be walking right past? The Lost Recovery system takes a mechanic we have fundamentally known for decades and brilliantly turns it into a compelling, narrative-driven adventure. So grab your maps, chart your course, and see exactly what incredible stories are waiting for you at the bottom of the sea or buried deep in the dirt. Happy hunting out there!